After making so many design related videos, I realized I never told you guys how I became one. I don't think I have, and I get asked that question all the time, and also people wanting to get advice on this career path. So this is what this video is going to be about. I'm going to tell you how I got to this position right here and give you a backstory. So if you want to skip the backstory of like my childhood, feel free to skip towards like post-college. So I'm going to tell you my backstory, my post-college experience, and then I will end it with some advice for you all. So I didn't always know that I wanted to become an interior designer. Growing up as a child, I knew I was creative. I loved drawing, sketching, just doing like all that sorts of stuff. But back in the day, back in the 90s, or should I say growing up, when people would ask you like, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? Kids would say like, oh, I want to become a doctor, lawyer, firefighter, or whatever. So that back in the day was seen as successful. Anything in the creative industry, anything artistic related was not seen as successful. So what did I say growing up as a child? The most basic answer I could ever say is I wanted to become a doctor. Soon after, I realized that being a doctor is not for me. And I think come middle school, I kind of entertained the idea of possibly becoming a fashion designer because I was like, it's still artistic, I can still be creative. I really enjoyed kind of drawing outfits at the time and like kind of sketching out the women model. So come freshman year of high school, I took in a fashion design class. Soon after, I realized that that was not for me. Industry is very competitive. You need to know how to sew, you need to know how to draw the models in a certain way, and I was not good at any of that stuff, even though I considered myself artistic. I did not like sewing. I could not sew for the life of me. I just hated it. So I was pretty devastated after that semester ended because I was like, damn, like what am I gonna do? Like I want to be creative, but like I don't know if there's like any other outlet for me. So I think at that time I talked to my counselor. I was like, hey, fashion design was not for me. I don't think I'm gonna take another fashion design class. And she threw out the idea of why don't you take an interior design class? And at that time I was like, what the heck is an interior design? What is interior design? I don't even know. So I was like, okay, well, what the heck, I'll just take it. So I took the class, and once I was in the class learning, my heart just knew that is where I wanted to be. It's weird. It just clicked. Because growing up, I had always like begged my mom to like let me paint my room for the 100th time. And I was always decorating and rearranging my room and trying to make it look cool and all these things. So it just made so much sense for me, and it just clicked. So one day our teacher announced that some advisors or representatives from this design college was going to come and speak about it. And when they were there, they were talking about the classes that they offer, what students are, making and designing, and how we could become an interior designer by going to this college. So I was immediately sold. I was like, you got me in. I'm ready to go. What are the next steps? So I just really loved how that college really focused on interior design. So I went to that school for 4 years and got my bachelor's, and after I graduated, I managed to land a job as a retail space planner through a recruiter. So I was there for 3 weeks until I got laid off, and a week after getting laid off, I managed to land a role as a commercial interior designer for a kind of like manufacturing company. By the way, if you guys want to learn more about the specific jobs that I had and learn more about the types of work that I did, what I liked and disliked, I did make a video going in depth about each job that I had in the commercial industry. I'll have it on the cards here below or listed on the description link, but I'm just gonna briefly go through this for the sake of the video. So I was actually at this commercial interior design job for 4 years. I did get a little bit comfortable, and after 4 years I decided it was time for me to move on. So I got a job as a office interior designer that designs office. So I was there for 8 months. I realized that that was not for me. It was just not what I expected. I made a decision of, you know what, I want to branch out to residential because all these years I have been ranking up all this experience in the commercial industry, but I had zero in residential. So I started applying to residential design firms and I thought, well, you know, I'm an interior designer. I've been in this field for a few years. I got the experience. How hard could it be to land a job as a residential interior designer? And boy, was I wrong, guys. I never felt so rejected in my life. Rejection after rejection after rejection, because all these residential design firms wanted people who had experience in that field already, and I had zero. So I went on a few interviews, I applied to so many places, and then finally I did get an offer from this high-end residential firm. I got the job, and I think this like changed my outlook on interior design. Back when I was working at commercial, I was feeling, I was feeling like so burnt out. Like I just didn't feel the passion anymore. I wasn't liking what I was doing, and I just wanted to be more creative. I mean, in commercial you do get to be creative, but to an extent, I feel like, because you do have to follow company guidelines, restrictions, code, and everything. So when it came to residential, my heart was blown away. I felt refreshed again. I felt like my creative juices were coming back again, and I was there for a year until, I don't know if you guys know this, but I was let go from that job. It just wasn't working out for both of us. Even though it was such a great experience for me, I learned so much. I did like it, but then towards the end I felt like, I don't know, I was getting a little bit burnt out. But that's another story, so I'll save that for another time. But I really think that having the experience in residential and commercial helped me build my business. Even though at that time when I was working for like all these other companies, I didn't think I would start my design company. I did kind of toy with the idea like, oh, maybe in the future, maybe. Like I never really turned that maybe into like, all right, we're doing this, until I was let go and I was like, you know what, this is a calling, this is for me to start my business. So yeah, after that residential design firm, I started my business. It wasn't like right after. I would say I was still kind of on the fence. I was applying to like other jobs, and I was going through like this interview process, but then COVID hit, and then I was like, you know what, let's do this. Let's do this thing. Let's start my business. And here I am a year later. Oh my god, a year later, and it's absolutely crazy how much I have like grown and how much my business has grown and how it's insane. So I am so happy that I did start my business and where I am today. Obviously there's still so much work to be done, but that is my overall experience, or my overall story of how I became an interior designer and to me owning my own company. So now here are my tips / advice. I would say it's more like advice for those wanting to become an interior designer or want to be in this career path. If you are in high school and your school offers some type of interior design class, I would take that, because that is how I knew I wanted to become an interior designer, is when I took that interior design class. It just, again, it spoke to me and I felt that yearning passion in my heart. So I would take whatever interior design class your school offers, and if they don't offer interior design class, then I would look into possibly taking like a software class like AutoCAD, maybe SketchUp if they offer it, something related to like 3D modeling. My senior year of high school, I took an AutoCAD class, and come freshman year of college, I felt a little bit more at ease when they were teaching AutoCAD, because I was like, oh, I know this command, I know how to do this. Number 2 is make sure that the college that you are applying to or going to is CIDA accredited. I'm not going to go too much into detail about this, but just make sure to look for those credentials. If you are looking or applying to colleges, also make sure that they offer actual interior design classes, or they have like a program dedicated to interior design rather than taking the basic art classes. I think that is so much more beneficial to actually learn about interior design and take the classes that are helpful for you to know to become an interior designer. I don't know much about these big universities and what they offer because I went to a smaller college that actually focused on interior design. So I will look into those types of schools that target interior design, that are a design school, because you will get the most out of it than going to a big school university that has like a small program, if you know what I mean. Number 4 is try to get as much exposure into the field as early as you can. And I know it's kind of like a catch-22. You need experience to get experience. Just try to reach out to design firms, try to reach out to different design companies, or even material companies like flooring, tile. Reach out to see if they are looking for some type of designer. And even if it's unpaid, I think you will have to make some type of sacrifices in the beginning, just to get your foot in the door, just to get that experience under your belt. Because again, when you are applying to like these bigger design firms, they are always looking for people who have experience, because nobody unfortunately wants to take time to train people. So try to get exposure as early as you can. Just try, have patience, keep it going, don't give up. I know it's going to be hard, but you just got to keep going. Don't get too comfortable working for the same design company. That's what I did for 4 years, is I got comfortable. But I mean, if it's a company or if it's a place that you know that was your goal to stay at, that's where you want to be, good, then you're set. But if you want to start your own business, I would say do not get too comfortable, because another year that passes is another year that you lose to start your company. So I would just, try to keep the flow going. Try to get that experience, as much experience under your belt, because that will really, really help you in the long run. My next tip would be try to experiment and get these different design jobs that you possibly can. You don't have to stick with one role your entire your life. You can feel free to apply and be a commercial interior designer, and then the next maybe year or so you want to become a residential interior designer. You can do that, and then you can move on to corporate, and then you can move on to hospitality. So I would really recommend for you to get your feet wet in all these different areas of design, because it just makes you a well-rounded designer. Companies will love that and want for you to work for them. Or if you are wanting to start your own business, that will give you so much leverage and so much knowledge on like all these different fields. Moving on is be prepared to juggle multiple projects at once. This is key in the design industry. You have to learn how to time manage and project manage your own projects. And I think college will do like a good job giving you a taste on what it's like managing like different projects at a time, because you can have different types of homework. So if you kind of learn on how to manage all that your college years, I think you should be good going into like the real world. Creating a system that works for you is absolutely key, because I'm going to tell you this, you're not just going to be working on one project, you're going to be working on multiple. It could be a few, it could be a lot. For my next tip, I'm pretty sure you guys are going to think it's cheesy or whatever, but stay unique and true to yourself. Literally guys, in a world where we have access to so many tools like Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, TikTok, it is so easy to get lost in what everyone else is doing. What are the trends? But a lot of people get sucked into that and be like, all right, I'm gonna do what's trendy. I'm gonna do what everyone else is doing. And I mean, I just feel like, I don't know, I have this thing against trends. I don't like to follow them per se. For the most part, I think that this is where we forget our own uniqueness, our own style, because everyone is so different, guys. Everyone thinks differently. Everyone's style is so different. So I think whatever makes you unique, stay true to it, because there are people looking for those like exquisite, unique designs. Don't lose your creative abilities. Stay true to yourself. I don't know how else to explain this, and I hope I'm making sense, but don't get caught up with what everyone else is doing or what these other successful interior designers are doing. Keep doing you. That's all I gotta say. Last but not least is more like a life tip. Is you are never too old, and do not go through your life thinking what if. I have so many people commenting saying that they are like in their 30s or 40s or 50s, saying that they are just now like transitioning and pivoting their life to following their dreams and passion of becoming an interior designer. And I say good for them. Like, it is never too late. Late would be you on your deathbed thinking like, damn, I should have become an interior designer. So I would say, guys, the time is now. Stop waiting. Stop contemplating that you're too old. You're not. But a lot of people go through what ifs, and they contemplate pivoting their entire life to studying something completely different. Taking that small step, just by even enrolling yourself to a college, you are already making such a huge difference in your life, because you are on the path, on the right path. I would say follow your dreams and passion, guys. If you find that you don't like it, at least you know now. At least you tried it. So that's all I got to say about my advice. I hope this was helpful. I hope you took something away from this. Remember, you got this. Keep going. And I wish you all the best in your career, your life, and everything. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. Comment below and let me know where you are in your life. Are you new to the design industry? Are you just now changing your whole entire career life? Or are you in high school or college? Let me know in the comments below, and I look forward to hearing about each and every one of you. But yeah, that is it, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.